Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a super easy, quick makeup tutorial. It's minimal products. I've limited myself to 10 and minimal tools. In fact, I am only going to be using one eyeshadow brush and 2 eyeshadows. What? I know. I don't know about you, but this seems to be that time of year where I am extra busy and I need to get out the door quicker. So I did a similar version of this look in the springtime and I thought, let's do a fall version. And at the end, I'll give you some tips of how you can tailor the colors to match whatever your particular tastes are. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Now let's get started. All right, the first most important step is to prime our eyelids. I am using the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. I like to do this when I'm doing minimal eyeshadow colors or a minimal eye look because it helps conceal and prime my eyelids all at once. And I'm just going to use my fingers to blend this in. It is important not to get too much of this product on, but you do want to make sure your lid is completely covered all the way up to your brow. Next, we're gonna move to the foundation while that sets. And I did already do my skincare. I have my sunscreen on, moisturizer, all of that. I also, under my eyes, used a little bit of the supercharged, this is the Milani Supercharged Under Eye Tint slash Brightener. It has hyaluronic acid and caffeine. So I thought that would be kind of an extra step that I could do while I'm putting all my other face products on, just to help give the under eye area a better chance of coverage with a lighter concealer. So for foundation, I went back to one I haven't used in a while, but this is the Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation. I really enjoy this. I think it's a great foundation and I have the shade 12Y. I think this is a pretty good match for me now, my more wintertime skin. And to blend that in, I'm going to use, this is the Oscar Charles Beauty Sponge. Dear subscriber sent this to me. I love it. It is such a nice quality sponge, but a little hard for us to get here in the United States. So I'm just going to start by blending a little bit of that foundation just kind of over parts of my face first, and then go in with my sponge and work that into the skin. I like to do this kind of at the beginning so the sponge doesn't soak up quite as much product. And I'm using a sponge because I like to get a good amount of coverage in the areas where I need it. And then I like to be able to diffuse and kind of shear out the other areas where I don't want it to look too heavy. So I do this a lot with my fuller coverage foundations on days when I'm not doing an all-out glam look. I'm pressing in just a little bit more in a couple of the areas where I have more redness. Probably could have gotten away with mixing in a little bit of my summer shade. This is a little on the light side, but that's okay. I am going to use a little bit of contour bronzer, which is coming up next. I'm using the NARS Bronzing Cream. You know how much I am loving this. This is the shade 01. And I just find this to be one of the quickest bronzing slash contouring products. I can use this to quickly contour, but also I can bring it up a little higher on my cheeks, add a little more color. Haha, yeah, that's much better. And I am using the BK Beauty 107 brush. This is my favorite for cream bronzer. You could also use it for your cream blush, but I just love it for, it just fits perfectly right in the hollow of the cheek. And then you can just quickly blend out the edge. Use a little bit under here. And then I do contour my nose just a little bit. And with this, I just think it is the easiest to just go in with your finger. You can use that brush handle trick I showed in another recent video. That's always an option, but I think this is just as fast. Okay, and then the next thing is I'm going to add some concealer under the eyes. Normally I don't do this step until I've done my eyeshadow and I clean up, but we're gonna make it a simple eye look, so I'm hoping we don't have anything to clean up. All right, for concealer, I have chosen the Revlon 5-in-1 concealer. This is the shade 025. I think this is gonna be the right shade, hopefully. This might actually, is this gonna be too dark? Might be okay. We'll see if we can make it work. I just think this is one of the easiest concealers. It's about medium coverage. It's not full coverage, but I just find this to be so forgiving under the eyes, especially those of us who have lines. It has lots of good ingredients, including some caffeine to help combat those under eye circles. Now I'm gonna go in and partially set my face. I'm gonna set my face from here up, and that is because we're gonna do our eyeshadow next, and I wanna set my brows and everything, and I'm using my sponge with my setting powder. So sometimes that's a little hard to maneuver if you've already done your brows and everything. So we're gonna do this now, and I'm using the Makeup Forever HD. This is the finishing powder, but I do love this under the eyes, and with a damp beauty sponge to set my face. I think it works really well. And I'm just going to tap this all over the forehead here. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Oh, love this powder with a damp beauty sponge. Okay, let's go to our eyes next. And for our eyeshadow combo today, I'm using another one of these Clinique duos. This is the duo Day Into Date. And I just looked at this and thought, okay, this is a super easy eye look. We've got the drama of the dark brown. It's a good mid-tone brown. It's not too cool. It's not too warm. And then we have this color, which isn't completely matte, but it's not really a shimmer. It's really super easy to blend. So I'm gonna start off, I'm using the BK Beauty 212 brush, and this is real similar to the Angie Hot and Flashy A503 brush. I only give you this option because right now this one's only sold in a set. I think they are gonna make it individually sold, but so if you don't wanna buy the whole set, that would be another option. But I like this one, it's just slightly smaller. So I'm gonna go into this lighter shade right here, and I'm going to, with this brush, put a little bit on the lid, and then I'm going to work on the inner part of the crease here. And then as I go up, just really diffuse that as I go up towards the brow. And just continuing to add a little more. And you can tell I'm not putting any of that shadow right here. I'll explain when we get to the darker color. So I'm concentrating most of this color on the inner part of the eye and the inner part of the crease, and then up towards the brow. And then I'm going to start off, actually, I think I'll take my ring finger here, and I'm going to go into that dark color, and I am going to just place this dark shadow right at the roots of the lashes. I am not going to use eyeliner today. I know, another like, what? What is Shirley doing? She's totally changing things on us. Now I'm being very careful not to go past the outer corner of my eye here with my finger. You can use your pinky if that's easier. And don't worry, we're gonna blend this out so it's not too harsh. We're going to use our finger almost like you would a flat shader brush to pack on more color. Then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to dip into here and then the dark brown, tap off really well, and blend into the outer corner here. And I'm just swirling that brush. These shadows are so easy to blend. All right, I'm going to now just take the tip of that brush in the dark brown, tap off really well, and I'm just raising my brow as high as I can. If you have really hooded eyes, you might need to help your brow with your finger and hold that skin up. I'm just really working that there and then swirling the brush. And then I'll wipe off that brush and go back into this shade and just lightly go around the edge. Pretty easy, right? And look how soft and blended everything looks. Really love that. Okay, and then I am going to take my pinky into the dark brown and I'm going to look up and just put a little bit of this along the lower lash line. If you have a smaller brush, you can bring it in, but you know, I don't want to break my own rules. I'm just going to use the one brush, but I want just a little hint of color. And then I'll take my brush and pinch it and just lightly go along here. There we go. And then I'll go back with my finger and tap in a little bit of that lightest shade right here. Okay, let's go back to our concealer now that our eyes are done. And I'm just going to do a dab right here to just kind of clean up this outer corner. I think the rest looks pretty good, but I am going to just tap out a couple of creases that I have. So that's why I like to let the concealer sit for a little bit so I can tap those out. And then we'll go in with our powder. So going back to the Makeup Forever HD powder and our sponge, I'm going to just put a tiny little bit on my sponge. Actually, let's just go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and powder the rest of my face. And then after I've done the whole cheek with what's left on the sponge, I'll just lightly tap under the eyes. Before we add a little more color to the cheeks, next we're going to do our brows, and this one has just been performing well for me. This is the Milani Precision Brow Pencil in Taupe. I think this shade is only available on the Milani website, but Ulta and probably Target have a couple of the other shades of this brow pencil, but I just think this is super quick. What I do is just kind of work through the arch of my brow, and then I'm just going to go through the front here and define this lower edge and then fill in a little bit at the front of the brow, but nothing too crazy. I am not going to be using a brow gel today, so this is the only brow product. Hallelujah, right? And it even has a spoolie on the other end, so when I'm done, I can just softly brush through and make sure everything's well blended and looks soft and natural. All right, the brows are done, and that always makes me feel better because I've got the frame around my eyes, but now I really need some color on my cheeks. So today I have chosen this beautiful blush from Laura Geller. This is Apricot Berry. Any of her blush and brightens are ones that I like to use for looks like this because they have a little bit of not only kind of a mixture of colors, but there's a little soft, subtle glow that just makes the cheeks come alive and look healthy. And it allows me to skip an extra product, which would be highlighter, doing the blush and the highlight all in one step. And if you're one who doesn't feel like you need contour or bronzer, you could just go straight to your blush, certainly. Isn't this just beautiful? And what I love about her blushes is they're very buildable. So you can just keep building till you get as much color or as little color as you want. can see I apparently think I need a lot of color today. Oh dear. Next, let's add some mascara. I'm going to curl my lashes, and today I'm just going to use the Tower 28 mascara. I've not actually tried this on my lower lashes, so this could be a mistake, but typically I would use maybe my tubing mascara that I usually use on the lower lashes. I would use that on the uppers as well, but I thought, you know, since this is a new purchase, let's go ahead and try this out. I will leave a note across the screen of how this performed on the lower lashes. If you know me well, you know that just about every mascara smudges on me. So if it smudges, it might not smudge on you, but I'm just kind of a difficult child when it comes to mascara. I'm just gonna put a good couple coats of this on and try not to get this on my upper lid and mess up our eyeshadow. Gonna take my bronzer brush, and you can add more product if you need to, but sometimes I just like to do this at the very end just to kind of add a hint more color, just kind of blend everything together. All right, the final product, we can't forget our lips. So let me wipe off my lip gloss here. And normally I would go around the edge of my lips with MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, but instead I'm just going to use a little bit of my foundation that I used today. And I'm just going to do this just to even out my lip line, because not only am I not using MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, but I'm also not going to use a lip liner today. For my lip color today, I'm using one of the Maybelline Super Stay Vinyl Inks. I have two colors here. I just kind of wanted to show you a couple of different options. If I wanted to step this up, make it a little more dramatic, I could of course go with a bright color or this deeper shade, which I really do love. This is called Witty. And you could see that would work really well. If I want to keep it much more kind of neutral and a little less dramatic, I could go in with this shade, which is called Cheeky. And let's see, what do we want to do today? Since we're doing kind of a daytime look, I think I'll go in with Cheeky. I better wipe these off. If you're not familiar with these are super long wearing, but comfortable on the lips, and they don't require a lip liner. All right, fixed my hair, put some earrings in, and now here is the finished look. And overall, I really like this look. It's very soft and I think pretty subtle, yet there's definition on the eyes. This is definitely a look that could go with pretty much anything you wear. So very neutral. It is cooler toned. So I told you at the beginning, I would give you a couple of tips of how you could change this up to suit your preferences. So maybe you either get bored with brown looks like this, or you prefer something more colorful, but you don't want it to be super hard. So basically, I feel like it's easiest to start with the color that you want to add to your look. So if you're somebody who's like, you know, today I want to wear a red lip, what should I do on the rest? So I would start with your lip color first. So choose your red lip and then keep everything else tonal accordingly. So maybe go a little more with a neutral color on your cheeks and keep your eyes neutral. If, however, you feel like you want to wear purple eyeshadow, then you might go to more of a pink cheek and a pink lip. So choose whatever point of your makeup that is going to include the most color and then work backwards from there. I hope that those tips helped you, and I hope overall you enjoyed this simplified look. Check the description box below for links to all of the products I used today, as well as links to some of the other videos that I have done for easy, quick makeup looks. I have done them. I know some of you have asked, don't you ever do any light makeup looks? I do occasionally, so I'll link those in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.